this anti-abortion, or not abortion, but the that was a Freudian slip, the anti-adoption law, or the Russian moratorium on Americans adopting Russians. Isn't that amazing? So much of this crap that we see go on is because of that. I'll tell you guys, it's already 8:30. I really want to talk to you people here a little bit before. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. But the thing is that if you look at the names, Moglevich, Bogatin, Satter, Katsev, etc., you're going to see them all connected to Jared Kushner and all these other fun mafioso types. So if you want to understand why Mr. Trump married Ivanka, a Czech woman his age, it was because she could speak the lingo of all the mobsters. And that came in very handy, and she was probably also connected to certain mobsters. Of course, he was trying to marry into something. And now he's got the same thing going on here with a woman who's obviously helping him to translate. Do you guys realize that our First Lady has a boob job, a nose job, and probably a chin job? And and the first daughter too? That blows me away. I know we had Michelle Obama had estrogen tits. You know, wasn't a real woman and all that, more than likely. But I don't think Michelle Obama had silicone. He didn't have the big old round things that Melania or Ivanka have. Isn't that something? All right, anybody. I hope you don't mind, but I'm just going to go ahead and call up on you guys. I'm going to go to the Skype page here. All right, first of all, wallflowers. Oh, Bob, you there, Bob? Bob.
Oh, yeah. Let me get away from the game, you know.
Damn, you played a damn game? Oh, damn, turn that damn TV off.
No, I'm not playing. I watch. Anyways, you're much more entertaining.
You got
very, very, very disturbing information, but, you know, you got to just go with it and just shake your head and say, you know, they're all bad. It's a deep state that goes through, you know, to me it's like the eagle, the American eagle. It's got a left wing, it's got a right wing, and the same poop comes out, you know?
It's no shit. No shit. But you know...
Anyways, as far as you...
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say your information. Listen, I'm 67. I was a history major at San Diego State, okay? The last 7 years I've been retired, all I do is, even during the night, is just absorb information. You have surpassed my favorite George Webb with naming names and
George Webb?
All this really pertinent stuff. It's phenomenal. You two ought to be going at it, not going at it against it, but just developing the whole picture together. I wish, I'll try to talk to George and see if we can do that. But anyways, I still want to know about the yellow vest and Getty. What's happening with that?
Well, you know what?
Shut up.
No, that's all good. Obviously this thing about what's going on with the hoods and pasting that stuff up is, I'm not going to call that a setback, because basically we poked them in the eye to the point to where they had to respond in the most serious way they could. That was you got to give them credit for using whatever tool they had in their arsenal. But this is the thing. We know, we're sitting here talking about money, trillions and trillions of dollars. And we know now that the Queen is the boss. We know it all goes back to the House of Windsor. Now, that's going to be a little tougher target, but we have the information necessary. So Trump now isn't going to be the target, but what we can use is we can use him to get to the Queen, and we can get back focused on the Getty, and we can now attach the Queen to the Getty, and we can attach all the mafioso to the Queen. And I think that's what we... And here's the other thing that you guys should remember. All you got to do is look back on history. 100 years ago, the monarchy was doing this thing called the Opium Wars. They made all their money forcing all those Chinese to get hooked on opium. So it's like it should be no surprise that they're doing the same thing. I mean, my God, we know now that it was
fentanyl wars, the fentanyl.
Yeah, well, they set up the entire Medellin cartel, the entire cocaine. They created the 80s, basically. Miami Vice would not have existed if it wasn't for the damn Queen. And all that crap. Scarface, all this stuff, all this mafia activity, we know now. The boss of all bosses is the Queen or whoever occupies that throne. That's why I want to take over the game, so I can sit in that damn throne and say, okay, guys, it's over. Because that's the only way this is going to stop. It's David and Goliath time, people. Seriously. The opposing army is not going to stop until Goliath has been slain. And that's where we're at right now. We need that one little stone to deliver that death blow so that they just hand it all over. Because that's the only way it's going to work. We cannot slay all these enemies. They have to hand it over. Their army has to be our army. Their throne has to be taken over. And then all the policy can change, which is the satanic stuff. Anyway.
Wow. Isn't it true that at the Getty they have all these emergency water outlets to kind of like anybody who's getting close, they'll try to drown the whole...
Yeah, they have that. They can flood. They can make a moat.
Yeah.
So they got 1 million gallons on standby.
Wow, you're just amazing. It's just amazing. Well, another thing is just, you mentioned two towns, Odessa, which my grandmother, who's a Russian Ashkenazi Jew, she came from there, Odessa, which is interesting. And then you mentioned about, Stansbury, Connecticut? Waterbury, okay. Now, I used to, when I was in my successful mode, I owned an employment agency for the mortgage and financial industries. And I used to order these trade magazines, secondary marketing, and they all came from there in Connecticut.
That's interesting.
So, yes, that's where, hey, the information's right there. Just print it out and get it out. Mm-hmm. Make money on the gossip.
Well, that's right. That's how that's like how we said that they can keep cashing in because all they got to do is pick a target, destroy it, buy it up, build it back up again, repeat the process, loot it.
Right, and and I think the readers that are tipped off, they're looking for certain things in the articles.
That's true.
It was great. Yeah, I'm just going to shut up. You're the master.
Well, I know what you mean. Because I used to see the mob used to have. Okay, I don't know if any old schoolers from local Orange County, but we used to have this little cartoon that would appear in the business section of the newspaper, and it was called Tripp's Follies, and it was the lamest little stupid cartoon you've ever seen. But what it was a mafia tip for the local horse races. It was telling people who to gamble on. Or who to, and a horse guy told me about that. He said, "Oh, that little cartoon, Tripp's Follies. Guess what that is?" I'm like, "Oh, I never had no clue." But yes, that's why these mobsters control the newspapers. That's why they control the airports. That's why they control the shipping. All these things they need to control. Of course, they want to control the shipping in the airports so they can smuggle all their stuff. What better way than to own the damn company? And then when something happens, they can blame it on someone else. They go, "Oh, it must have been some employee or somebody must have stuck it on there or something." Obviously, they can get around all the security features that way. And they all do it.
But so what do we do? I mean, what's going to be? I mean, how could you even be? My friends who are, QAnon followers, and they're very pro-Trump. When I mention anything, they just do the same thing, like cognitive dissonance.
I know. This is a really rough time for all of us. And like I said, just attaching the emotion to it, there's so much emotional response to this truth coming out, and you can't avoid it. But I'll tell you one thing. We don't have to focus on Trump being a pedophile. I mean, yeah, it's obvious now. We know he's not just a pedophile. He's the one that probably killed this little girl. I mean, if he didn't do it,
someone else,
Epstein,
he ordered it, maybe.
He was involved. He was involved because we know that him and Epstein were both screwing these girls one after the other. I mean, and this story from this one girl, Kate, about Epstein getting pissed off because Trump got to her first. That's totally.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
those psychopaths.
And we haven't even. I've got a big long list of transcripts of all the inappropriate things Trump has said about his daughter in public. I mean, it's just over and over and over. He keeps.
Well, she is kind of cute, but
yeah, she's kind of cute. But I have 4 daughters, and you're not going to find a million pictures of me fondling any of them.
Right. Well, you got Biden fondling a lot of little girls.
Yeah.
There's so many videos on that.
That's true. But you know what? None of them are his daughter, which we think, oh, that's terrible. But the thing is, just because it's his daughter, suddenly it's okay? That's the thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And this is the other thing, is that, again, once we understand the dynamic of how these pedophiles work and how their children are recruited and how the elite work and how that's all part of the satanic system, which is what it is, it's not that strange. And all you got to do is look at Ivanka and you can see it in her eyes. And it's like Trump is obviously her handler, and he's handing her over to, what's-his-face, Kushner. And
that's terrible,
Jared. And that's obviously
a guy. He's half my age, and he's got billions. And I will take him on. I've studied Kabbalah. I know more than he does. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to sound egotistic. Look at you.
I'm a better Jew.
Yeah, but you're the best. You're the best.
I'm the best.
I gotta tell you. Yeah, you're really right now. You're number one in my book. I'm the only book that I know of. But you are. I look at my YouTube with your station, and everything's all read out. I've watched all of them. I go, come on, give me something new. Oh no, it's back much. I'm addicted.
Oh dear.
You do good. And you know what the greatest feeling is? When I look up and it goes, oh, I got an 8-minute new video. Stephen D. I go, oh boy. Get the iced tea. I know you love that. Okay, I'm going to shut up. I love you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, get out of here, Bob.
Adios.
Bye. Easy. Adios. Okay, hey, listen. We have our other wallflower here. Do you want to say anything? You want to say hi to everybody while you're here? Yes, you. I know you took all the time to figure out how to mute your phone. Now, hit that button one more time. You don't want to talk? No? Okay. All right, anybody? Okay, we are running out of time. We're down to about 15 minutes.
Manipulate people, and they're literally exposing themselves outright.
We should mention the thing in Iran that's going on right now, or the Gulf Straits.
Yeah, I read about that too. Well, you called it.
Well, yes, yeah, I guess so, huh? Said, watch for the false flag, start a war with Iran, here it comes.
Wasn't even a week.
Wasn't even a week. It wasn't exactly the next day, but...
No, but it was less than a week, and then there was 2 incidents. There was the bombing of the hotel, and now the ship.
Yeah, well, they had to wait for that ship to get into range, you know what I mean? It wasn't in the right spot for that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have their timing done right. But you're right, though. The ship is really worrisome, mostly because it's a British thing. But here's the other thing that's really important, is that the Japanese just got through going to Iran and saying that they would negotiate with the United States and act as an intermediary with the United States. And what happens? A Japanese ship gets torpedoed, allegedly by Iran. Now, who's going to believe that?
Right, but
you gotta
at the same time...
But no, we got Mike Pompeo. Don't forget Mike Pompeo, former head of the CIA, mobster, criminal, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Go on. At the same time, what?
Oh, I was going to say, wouldn't a torpedo pretty much cut the ship in half?
Well, you gotta have a pretty good
torpedo expert. But
they have multiple. A modern torpedo obviously would do that because they go underneath the thing and they do that. But again, what they're talking about is a relatively small Iranian torpedo that was allegedly fired from one of their little PT boats. But again, it's a joke. Iran's not going to torpedo nobody. Certainly not a Japanese cargo ship. I mean, if they're going to torpedo somebody, it'd be a damn American aircraft carrier. Something was actually menacing, not a stupid customer. They're not going to be torpedoing their customers.
Right. Well, especially in the midst of everything else that's going on, when it would be, like they're trying to point out obvious that it was them. That's the red flag to me.
Unfortunately,
like I said, why would they even think about that?
But like I said, though, the very fact that it's the British involved and not us, it's kind of takes it. Again, the Queen, remember, the head of the mafia? If they couldn't get Donald Trump to do it, the Queen's going to do it herself. I mean, ultimately we know that we know who really runs the mafia, it should not surprise us that anything Britain does isn't completely connected to this mafia operation worldwide.
Well, that's
amen.
Amen, my brother.
Hallelujah.
I think, honestly, at this point, all this crap that's going on, the politics and everything, I mean, it even states in the Protocols that politics itself, by design, is designed for manipulation, self-serving. It's not even something that we should be using as a system as far as politics is concerned.
All our founding fathers were a bunch of Masons.
Right.
That apparently went to this William and Mary College and got a Jesuit education. And then it went on a road.
Right. And I just feel like...
You know what college comes after William and Mary, or before? There's only one college better than William and Mary. That's Harvard. And look at what Harvard put out. Jeffrey Epstein, to name a few, Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they're all part of the indoctrination. But I feel like, kind of where the direction we were going, somewhat last year, where we were just trying, instead of getting all caught up in all this stuff that's going on, like you said, it doesn't really matter that Trump's a pedo or maybe he's a pedo or did whatever he did. We need to get people woke up, because the more people that realize, whether they want to believe it or not, if it's exposed and everybody knows what's going on, that's what's going to fix the problem. Because everybody keeps asking, well, how do you fix it? How do you fix it? Well, I personally don't have an answer to that, other than everybody needs to be aware.
You guys won't like the answer, though. Put me in charge. That's how you fix it. You rally behind me. You all stand behind me, and I'll fix it. I won't sit there like Trump and go 3 years and not do nothing. I'll do it all in the first year. Are you kidding me? I'll do it. Like I said, we'll march on London. We'll take our gold back. We'll end this shit right now. We'll cut the head off the snake.
And I've said numerous times, it's not just the United States, it's the whole world, but it's to the point where it's literally like a virus in a computer. We gotta shut the computer down, clean it out, wipe the hard drive, and reinstall Windows, so to speak.
Reinstall Windows. Now we're going to get rid of the entire operating system, dude. We're going to upgrade. We're going to get rid of this Windows bullshit. We're going to start doing magic. We're going Scalar. Fuck that Linux.
There you go.
We're going Scalar, buddy. We're not even going to be using
But that's what I'm talking about. The whole dynamic needs to be changed, and you can't do it. It's too far gone. You can't do it incrementally. You can't say, if we stop this is going to fix that. No. You have to get rid of all of it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of big steps you could take, but no one's willing to do it. If you got rid of the Federal Reserve and got rid of the IRS and did all that stuff, those guys...
Dude, we don't need any of that. All we got to do is occupy the Getty. Okay?
Well,
fuck all that other little shit, okay? We occupy the Getty.
That would end all of that.
All that other shit will just melt, okay? It'll melt like, I'm melting, It'll just go away. Just like that.
Right.
Okay, well, anyway, dude, I'm going to let you go because it's about that time, and, I need to put some socks on. It's getting kind of chilly. All of a sudden, which is weird. It's hot here. I know. It's not that hot. It's just that I'm running the air conditioner, and I'm realizing it's like temperature change.
I was up at the property last weekend. It's nice up there.
Yeah, I bet it was. All right, you get out of here. Get working on my toys, man. I'm having dreams about that shit. It's starting to bother me. And I don't know if you know anything about Read Night, but I need you to start looking at that crap, okay? Yeah, say no more. You know, I used to make it for, what was it? Speaking about Jewish people, where they have those things what do they call those things that they have in Israel? Oh my God, not the, they're like camps or something. What do they call them? They're like little city states. Can't remember. Anyway,
Kippur?
Yeah. What is it? The word again?
Kippur.
Kippur, whatever. Yeah. Well, that's the word. It doesn't sound right to me, but I know that's the word. But I used to deal with these people, and a lot of times they will make their own weapons, including silencers, and that's some weird stuff. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I'll talk to you later. Okay, everybody. Okay. Get out of here. Okay, Brian, get out of here. Okay.
All right. See you.
Right, adios. Right. Bye.
So Kippur Jewish Center.
Okay.
Kippur.
Yom Kippur. There's another. It sounds like that, but it's I don't know. We don't have time to look that up, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna worry about it. Usually, what happens is the parents will send their children to like summer there and stuff like that at these places. But anyway, they're kind of like communes. All right. Okay, we have our one other caller. I guess you can sit here until I let you all go. All right, no big deal. I'll just wrap it up really quick. Okay, I just want to thank everybody that stuck around for the duration. I hope I know I try to put all that information, but I can never do this stuff perfect. I'm sorry. It's just really, really hard to do. And I'll tell you, though, if I took and really spent some time and got a big old giant piece of paper, I could probably come up with timelines that hooked every single little player up and all these little events, at least in the last 50, 60 years of intrigue. It would especially, I really wanted to look more into Vesco and Nixon and all these guys, but once I found out that Vesco got his money from the Rothschilds, who got it from the Queen, and that Soros got his money from the same people 2 years later,